I want you to be more inquisitive. Start asking questions, not about your company, about your audience, about the people, the clients, the customers you serve. I want you to be more audacious, and I want you to be more inspiring. We're going to start by talking about the funnel, okay? The funnel. We all know the funnel, right? Awareness, consideration, intent, purchase, loyalty, advocacy. Well, I started asking questions. I'm inquisitive. I wanted to know, where did the funnel come from? Where did we get this thing? So I did some research. I spent a little time on Wikipedia. Look at this. It was invented in 1898 by a guy named St. Elmo Lewis, which is an awesome name, by the way. So if you're naming a baby, St. Elmo Lewis should be on your list. But he didn't draw a funnel, I'll give you that, but he came up with attention, interest, and desire and conviction will outweigh all the objections in a sale and you'll have a sale. This was his concept, 1898 people, and we've tried to redesign and reinvent the funnel, right? We've given it to a designer and said, turn it into a bow tie, I think. This is a good idea. Add some dots and maybe some extra phases that we never had before. This seems like a good idea. We've done a good job rethinking it. We've turned it on its head and said, let's come up with the mirrored triangles and add a random gray arrow, put some gradients over on the side. It's going to look modern. This is genius. We've also gone really overboard. This is the funnel inside of a more complicated funnel with two random blue arrows, one of which says, more money in my pocket. It just comes out, people. You just do it this way, and you just shove it in. Just put it right in there. This one takes the cake. This is the FU funnel. Yeah. Tofu, mofu, and bofu, some genius inserted into this. We don't need new funnels, people. Even in 1898, we didn't even have airplanes in 1898, people, and St. Elmo Lewis evolved his design to this Russian doll's like nested bucket thing, where as a sales guy, you'd walk away with the sale, right? I just made it. Look, we use the same framework we came up with in 1898. A lot has changed since then. We have airplanes now, people. We need to rethink the funnel. One of the most fundamental things that's changed in the last 100 years is the web, right? We need to embrace a new world view. We need to be a little bit more humble about our awesome 500 brands in the marketplace. We need to embrace a new model of the universe. The first thing we need to think about is what the web used to be like. We used to have a Ptolemaic model of the web. Now, if you don't remember who Ptolemy was, he was a 2nd century astronomer who decided that the Earth was the center of the universe. And when we came up with our first websites, we thought this way. We were like, hey, we're going to build the best website in the world, and everybody's just going to come to us. We're the center of the universe. The sun revolves around us. This is what we decided. The Ptolemaic web view has to change because we live in a Galilean web universe. Now, Galileo was the guy that came along in the 16th century, and he looked at a telescope and he said, wow, holy smokes, we are not the center of the universe. In fact, there's a sun, we revolve around the sun, there's a lot of planets just, this was heresy. I want you to be a heretic. That's what I'm saying. I want you to embrace the Galilean model of the universe. What's the web model look like? The Galilean web model of the universe looks like this. What's at the search center of the sun? It's the Googs, the Google. I know people that love Google so much, they type in google.com into Google to get to Google. It's the center of the universe, people. And radiating out from that is your client, your customer, their everyday experience. You've got things like they're checking their email, right, all day long. They're watching crap on YouTube. They're on Facebook, Facebooking people. They're watching some news. They're tweeting crap. They're pinning things. We just heard Kevin. I know you skeptical CMOs. They're pinning crap all day long. They're flickering, they're LinkedIning, they're stumbling upon, they're digging, they're Redditing, they're iTunesing, they're WordPressing, they're scribing. I don't even know what some of those logos are, people. Where is your website? It's way the hell out here in the middle of nowhere. Come all the way out here and get the stuff you really want. Yeah, we have to embrace the Galilean model of the universe. We need to get closer and closer to our clients and our customers' everyday experience. I want you to ask yourself in the next marketing meeting if you're being a Galileo or you're being a Ptolemy. Do you care if they click every link, or do you just want another sale? Do you mind if they watch a YouTube video and decide to call your sales department from the YouTube video? That's embrace the new model of the online universe. Now, search is evolving. I'm willing to give you that. We heard Google yesterday talk about how search is evolving, but Google is the comfort food of search. It is the meatloaf, the mashed potatoes and peas of search. Feels good. 10 brew links is yummy. That's what I think. And it's evolving. When I started putting this presentation together, I went looking for a picture of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas. I didn't go to Google. I went to Flickr. And I went through 2,000 pictures of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas looking for a picture that was cool enough for this presentation, and that's the one I found. It's homely, it feels good, it's not a professional photo, I get it. 15 minutes I'm looking at this, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, I'm pretty hungry. I want meatloaf for dinner. So I go to allrecipes.com, I find easy meatloaf. It's got 22,000 reviews, 4.5 stars. I'm going to make this. I start reading it, I'm like, this is overly complicated. I'm going to actually go out for meatloaf. So I go to Yelp, I type in best meatloaf, Boston, Massachusetts, which is where I live, and I look down the page and there are 2 restaurants I like, Pop's Restaurant and the All-Star Sandwich Bar. Both great places. One has bad parking, one is too noisy for my wife. I like it, she doesn't. We don't have to talk when we're there, which is what so I decide, maybe I'm not going out for meatloaf. I'll go back to my original idea, and I go to YouTube to watch a video on how to make meatloaf. This seems more efficient. This is a 10-minute long, I have ADD, people. I'm not going to watch a 10-minute meatloaf. I'm like, forget it. So I go to 5min.com, where you can learn how to do anything in 5 minutes or less, and I start watching this one, which is only 3 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm enjoying it, but then she says, you need a meatloaf pan, and I'm like, crap, I don't have a meatloaf pan. So I go to Amazon, I type in meatloaf, I get my meatloaf pan, it's on order, I've got Prime, it'll be here tomorrow. I'm very excited about my meatloaf pan, and I've got some time to kill. I'm a history buff, so I look up on Wikipedia, where did this come from? It's the German Americans in Pennsylvania brought us meatloaf. Thank you, Pennsylvania, I appreciate it. And then I decide, this can't be good for you. That picture looks pretty nasty. How many calories from fat are in meatloaf? It's 1,138 calories, people. That is disgusting. So I go to Facebook and I join the Meatloaf Sucks group. And there's a big old long diatribe by a guy who didn't cook his meatloaf all the way and he got E. coli. And I'm like, oh my God, E. coli. What temperature do I have to cook this to? And then I realize it's 160 degrees, and I'm really conflicted now. So I decide, you know what, let me take the pulse of the public right this second. I will go to Twitter and see who's interested in meatloaf. Look at this guy. Hey, I do, laughing out loud, my fiance makes a bangin' meatloaf, which I'm pretty sure is a euphemism. So I'm like, forget it. And then there's this other guy who says, not sure what the hell I just ate. I'm like, forget it. I'm going to cancel my meatloaf pan. I go back to Amazon, I type in meatloaf, and I get Meatloaf the Artist. I forgot about that guy. Bat Out of Hell is such a great album. What is that guy's real name? I don't know, so I go to AllMusic. It's Marvin Leah Day. He's from Dallas. I'm from Houston. And then I remember I saw something back here on Twitter. Oh, on the bill tomorrow night, 6/8 at the Bank of America Pavilion, VIP tent for Meatloaf. I go to Ticketmaster, I buy 2 tickets to the concert, I take my wife, we have a great time at the Meatloaf, I take a bunch of pictures, I upload them to Flickr in the morning, and I go, wait a second, I'm back where I started, looking at pictures of Meatloaf on Flickr. Thank you. Look, thank you. Look, people, here's a question I have for you. Funnel that. Okay? I mean, where's the awareness phase for meatloaf pictures, right?